Okay, welcome back everyone. I'm now on episode 22, I think, of this starting Cocos3d series, and at the moment we're talking about lighting up your scene. And today I'm going to talk about directional only lights, and I'll just start off by running my new scene, which is called a directional only scene, and it's set up to just open up, and I've set up my ambient light as I was talking in the previous one, and then you come along, you press the control button, and bang, the light comes on. And you can see immediately that once you put a light into the scene, you now are getting far more of a sense of a 3D scene where you've got shadow, kind of a backlighting to the cube there. You've got depth in the container, and you've got a bit of a specular there, and a kind of a shadow to the background of the sphere. And that comes from the light source, which I've added to the scene up here. What I've done is I have CC3Light called lamp as a member variable, and I have the control action. And then what I've put in is the usual backdrops must the same. The ambient light, you can see I've just set it to 0.3 all across just to give some sort of a backlighting. And then when it comes to the light itself, it's called lamp. And this is the bit I want to talk about today, the difference between setting this to yes and no. And the way I like to think of it is, sometimes I get confused as to which one I'm using. So I say, is a directional light only equals yes? And I'm kind of saying, derogatively I say to it, you're only an old directional light. It means, you don't have all the extra things that you would have if you weren't only a directional light. Because when it says no, it's kind of like it's back answering me, and it says, I say, you're only a directional light. It says no, it means I have other things than other being just being a directional light. So I'm going to show you the difference between the two of them today. Basically, mainly concentrating on the directional one only. So directional only, I initially set the lamp to be invisible, but I'll just take that off now. I'll take that switching off, and I've taken the same pod as before, but I've just removed that sphere that didn't have a UV mapping on it, and left the other items in there. And what I've also added now, and I'm going to stick them in this time when I run the scene, is an extra two little spheres. So I've copied and here I've got origin, which is a copy of the sphere from the pod, and I've scaled it down to 20% of its original size. And then I have another mesh node called lamp bulb, and I just copied the origin mesh, and I've called that bulb. The origin mesh is a sphere with it's white, it's got an emission color of blue, and I've just stuck it at the origin, added it to the scene. And the lamp bulb is white, emission color white, and its location is equal to the same location as the lamp. So the lamp bulb is going to tell us where the lamp is. And again, I've added that to the scene. And to make sure that it stays in the same position as the lamp, when I do any updating or moving around in my update before transform method, I've said to make the bulb location equal to the lamp location. So if the lamp moves, this bulb will show up and show where it is. Okay, when the scene opens, the camera targets the usual kind of central position, the box rotates, and this time in the button action, I'll just give myself the option of moving the lamp just along the x-axis. Okay, so I'll run the scene again. Remember now, this is a directional only bulb light. So I'll run it again, and it opens up. Directional only light is the one I want to look at, and you can see that there's the origin. There's where the light is at the moment. And one of the things to note about directional only light is that you might look at it and say, well, the light's there, why is the specular kind of over there? Well, the reason for that is that directional only light shines in the direction from where it is to the origin of the scene. So no matter where the bulb is, it'll be shining no matter where no matter where it is, its direction will be from there into the center of the scene. And that's why the specular is over there, because as far as this object is concerned, the light is shining in a direction like that on top of it. And you can see this now. I'm going to move the light over to this side, and you'll see that the specular will move as if the light was pointing straight to the origin. Just watch it there now. You see how it moves over. And now you can see that the direction is from here into here, and the specular is in the required position. And if I go over again, you'll see that it's starting to move away and the specular is going down. Okay, so a directional only lamp is a lamp that will shine from its position to the origin. It doesn't matter where it is with regards to the other objects, it's just going to go straight from there to the origin, and that's how it's going to affect the other objects. Okay, so if you just go back and look at that one more time, light is there, it's pointing in the direction of the origin, it's in front and above in the direction of the origin, and it's as if it's coming from there into the sphere there. Okay, and I'm going to run a little bit of an action on it, just to actually the first thing I should do is just show you, if it wasn't a non-directional, or sorry, a directional lamp, I'll put it here just to have a quick look at the difference. This is a fancy lamp. So it says is directional only. No, it says I'm more than directional. I've got loads of other things I can do. And if I stick it in here, you'll see that now the lamp is up there, but it's actually the light, the specular on the sphere there is showing that the origin of the light is from here, this position. It's not going in that direction. It's the light is coming from here, so the specular is appropriate on the sphere. And if I move it across now, you get the same effect. It's like the lamp is where the light is coming from, not the direction down there. Okay, that's the difference between the two of them on a basic level. And the thing is that a lamp that says is directional only, no, that has all the features of a directional light, but it also has other fancy features, and we'll look at that in the next video. Okay. Back at a directional light only, just to emphasize the point of the positioning of it, if I go in here and I'll comment out that one, and now run this action. What this is going to do is take the lamp, and in 5 seconds it's going to move it to 200, 300, 500, which I picked those specifically because the lamp's current position is at 2, 3 and 5. So what's actually going to happen is it's going to go far away, but at exactly the same angle to the origin point in 5 seconds. I'm going to move it back then. After 5 seconds, it's going to move back exactly to where it was. And then in 10 seconds, there's going to be a slow movement from its original position into the origin. And you'll see something kind of interesting happen then when it goes into the origin. It's kind of like a black hole situation. Here we go, there's the light as you'd expect, and watch the specular, watch the whole arrangement of the lighting as I push the button, and the lamp now is going to move off into the distance. But as you can see, there's no difference. It doesn't matter how far away or how close you put this light, it's not going to change the lighting, because the lighting is just an angular lighting. Now it's coming in, it's going to go into the origin. You'll see what happens when it hits the origin is, boom, the light goes out. The reason for that is that it doesn't have any vector anymore. It's at 0. It can't point to 0 because it's at 0. So you don't have any direction from this light anymore. So that's the, actually I'll push again, turn it on again. So you can see that with directional light, it just matters where you put it and it'll shine, and that's about it. And if you put it at 0, you'll turn it off. Okay, let's go back there again. We'll see if that's kind of cool. And boop. Okay. So the use of the directional of these directional only lights is that they're cheap in terms of performance. They will light up a scene for you. They'll just give you a direction. It's like a sun that you can put up in your scene. It'll give you a direction of where the light is coming from. And it doesn't have any extra calculations to be done that you would have to do if you were using one of the directional plus lights, the ones that have more than just directionality.
So they're a good handy light to set up a basic scene. One last thing then to show you is that with this directional light, you can mess around with its properties. So I'm just going to change the diffuse color to red, specular color to green, and the ambient color to blue, and run the show again. And you'll see that you can get some pretty weird looking effects. This was originally green. You're getting some funny kind of what are they called? Diffuse effects coming through on the cube. The specular here is kind of the specular color was green, but it's been affected by the reds, so you're getting yellow, and you're getting some weird thing on the blue thing on the side there. So between changing the diffuse, specular, and ambient of the light itself and of the materials and of the scene, you can get all sorts of different lighting combinations with a directional only light. Okay, the next one now, I'll move on to the next one, which will be I'm going to call it directional plus light. But what it is when you get to that point and you say is directional only, and it says equals to no, and you say it's more than a directional light. Okay.